Hey everyone, my name is Peyton, and in this tutorial what I wanted to do is go over planar reflections. So what I'm going to actually start off with is I am in my environment here again, the home space, and I wanted to give some reflections to these outside windows, basically in between the interior and the exterior area where I actually have my little patio. And you can see that I have some reflections kind of happening with the response there if I back up my camera, but overall it's just not giving an actual proper response to the information models and all that we see out here. And I would want a little bit more just response overall in the glass from that. So I'm going to use a planar reflection, which do keep in mind that they are super expensive. The reason why is because they're rendering the environment twice with how they're actually basically picking up. So it is going to be pretty costly to have it, but I think in certain situations like this, at least, if you can handle it for your scene, I think it's a great way to really improve the quality of the reflections and the response, especially if I'm wanting to do any kind of video shots or anything like that out here. So what I'm going to do is actually go over here to place actors, and I'm going to look for planar reflection, and I'm going to drag this in here, and you can press G to basically actually get it to show up in the editor viewport. It's default hidden in game, so that's why you won't see it potentially if you drag it in. So you'll want to press G to actually make sure that it is showing up, and then I'm basically just going to actually edit it. I'm gonna rotate and then bring it back, and I want to place it pretty much where the glass is in my actual frames, so somewhere like that, and then I'm going to scale it down as well. So I'm gonna get it pretty close, that way if I'm also editing and all, it's pretty it's not bothering anything else. So that's good for the width, and then got the height pretty correct as well. And now you can see that it's already working. If I press G again, it'll hide it, and I can see that the response of the reflections are working quite well. I'm getting everything out here that I wasn't getting before. I'm going to press delete real quick, and you'll see the difference. So it is a pretty nice addition just with the reflections in general. And if I'm walking in this space, if I really wanted that nice response with the windows, now I have it, as opposed to what it was previously without. Now what else is nice about this too is that now that we have it in place in this location, I can actually search for it and find it in my outliner right here, and then you'll see that I actually have a lot of things that I can edit in the details panel. So the normal strength, you'll see the difference between the actual normals kind of change. So this will make it super smooth if you want, but the normals can also help just give it a little bit of a blur. There's also the pre-filter roughness, which you can see here on this panel back there as well. There's also distance from plane fade out, and a lot of other things you can kind of adjust to get to your liking for your scene. So just kind of go through here and play around with these, see what works best for your space and what doesn't. And then there's just a good amount to screen percentage. Now if you change this to 100, it's going to be a lot more detailed and stuff, but it's of course also pretty expensive, so I would just be careful with changing those. But yeah, that's about it, at least for just adding a planar reflection to your scene. The rest of the space in here, if I have any sort of glass like this one here, I tend to just use a regular sphere reflection capture, or sphere reflection, and then I'll just make sure that once I place it in scene, I go here to build and build reflection captures, and it updates properly. And so I'll really just use the planar reflection for a very specific area to highlight the good response and quality reflections. And I think it's also great for if you had a flatter water that you're wanting to do and you weren't using any other reflection methods, you could use this to get a pretty solid response of all of the models and everything around that. But yeah, that's about it for this tutorial, and I will see you next time.